That I don't know.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session. This is a session for businesses and nonprofits to discuss disaster recovery information. So we have organized different partners throughout the state to come together and talk to businesses and nonprofits about resources that are available to your business or nonprofit if you were impacted by one of the storms that have come through our state. So we have multiple speakers that will be going over information. If you would like, if you have any questions, please put those in the comment section. We'll be looking through the comment section. And also, this meeting is being recorded, and we will provide information on where to access this recorded meeting at the end of our session. My name is Paul Workman. I am the Senior Rapid Response Coordinator for the Rapid Response Program for the state of Georgia. We work with businesses and workers who have been impacted by layoffs and closures throughout the state, and also businesses and workers who have been impacted through natural disasters throughout the state. So what we do is we basically work with our partners throughout the state and organize and collaborate resources and services for individuals so we can provide them. And so that is the purpose of this meeting today is just kind of go over those different resources that we have. Um, I will go ahead and start with the first speaker through the Small Business Association. Are you all ready to present?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, so my name is Brian Beard. I'm a public affairs specialist for the SBA Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. And as you may know, we work alongside, make sure I get this thing to advance here. Okay. We work alongside FEMA whenever there's a presidential disaster declaration and provide low interest long-term loans to cover any damage not covered by insurance or another source. And these loans are available to not only businesses, not only small businesses, but businesses of all sizes and nonprofits and homeowners and renters. So as you may know, we had a presidential disaster declaration in Georgia that covered 63 counties for Hurricane Helene. And that was on top of the several counties that were designated for Tropical Storm Debbie. So our SBA disaster loan program will help survivors with their long-term recovery needs. And as I mentioned, it's available to cover any uninsured losses. And these loans are directly from the federal government. Once you get your loan offer, that interest rate will not change. That's coming directly from the federal treasury and will not change for the life of the loan. Here's just a map to give you a brief view of the declared counties. All the counties in green there were part of the presidential disaster declaration. And all the red dots are current recovery centers, so a disaster recovery center or a mobile disaster recovery center run by FEMA and also staffed by SBA. And some of the ones in white are projected ones that may be opening in the near future. But you can kind of see the concentration of the recovery centers is where the path of the storm was and where the most damage occurred. Okay, so we offer several types of loans for businesses and private nonprofits. You can get a loan up to $2 million based on estimated damage and your ability to repay to repair or replace real estate, inventory, equipment, etc. I'll go into a little more detail on that in a minute. And we also have economic injury loans that are for small businesses and private nonprofits. And when we say small business, the official government definition of that varies a bit by sector or industry, but it can include a few hundred employees. So it can be what we would consider a medium-sized business. The economic injury loans are to provide working capital if somebody is not able to pay their monthly expenses and need some more working capital to keep them going until they get back up to speed again. And I'll go into more details on that in a minute as well. We also have loans for homeowners for their primary residence where they spend at least half their time, who can get up to $500,000. And then both homeowners and renters can get a personal property loan to repair or replace their personal property up to $100,000. And then if a business or home or nonprofit has damage and is approved for a physical damage loan, they may be able to request an additional amount on top of that to build back stronger. So 20% of the total verified damage can be requested to build back stronger, put on a stronger roof, storm shutters, if there were issues with flooding, possibly change landscaping or put in a sump pump, things like that. So I mentioned a maximum of $2 million, and that's a combination for businesses and nonprofits of physical damage, economic injury, and the mitigation to build back stronger. And in the cases of small businesses and private nonprofits, you can get up to $50,000 unsecured for physical damage and $50,000 unsecured for economic injury. For homeowners can get up to a $50,000 loan, or renters for their personal property without having to put a lien on their property. No collateral or closing costs is involved for loans that are $50,000 or less. But in the cases of businesses, they can get up to $50,000 both for physical damage and for economic injury if they have both. And there's no interest or payments for the first year, but after that first year, the interest rates are as low as 4% for most businesses, 3.25% for private nonprofit organizations, and as low as 2.813% for homeowners and renters. Okay, so why should someone apply for a disaster loan after going through a big disaster such as Hurricane Helene? A lot of people are stressed out. They're not sure of their future. They don't want to think about going into further debt. But the terms are very favorable, and it's an ability to keep your options open and get you back to where you were before the disaster. So as I mentioned, there's no interest or payments for the first 12 months, and with no cost to apply and no prepayment penalty, and also no cost to turn down a loan. If you do take a loan and pay it off in less than a year, then there won't be any interest charged at all. There's no prepayment penalty and no interest for that first year. Even though we do not cover damage that's covered by insurance, you don't have to wait for your insurance settlement. You could go ahead and apply for the loan, get your first installment and start repairing. And then when the insurance money comes in, that can go directly to pay off the loan. Okay, and the terms are flexible. You can get up to 30 years depending upon your ability to pay. So, for example, a $25,000 loan for a home, at least at that 2.813 over 30 years, would only be about $75 a month. Be a little bit more for a business at 4%. And I already mentioned the mitigation, based on the total estimated damage, even if some of it's covered by insurance, you can request 20% of the total damage to be added on to your loan to build back stronger. And if you're offered a higher amount, you can always just say that you only want a certain amount, to keep it under that $50,000 to not have to have collateral or closing costs. And also, if insurance does cover most of your loss, you can get a loan just to cover your deductible and still request that 20% of total damage to build back stronger with mitigation. Okay, so I've mentioned before that there's a $2 million limit for the businesses and nonprofits, and that can be a combination of physical damage, economic injury, and mitigation improvements. And the business loan, or for a nonprofit, can be used to repair or replace your building, your machinery, equipment, fixtures, inventory, and leasehold improvements. But the loan cannot be used to upgrade or expand your business, except as required by building codes. If the building codes have changed since your original construction and you have to build it back in a certain way, that can be taken into account because that is part of the cost of fixing the damage. Okay, so our economic injury disaster loans are available not only in those 63 counties, but also in the adjacent counties, because a lot of times a business might be next door to one where a county that was damaged, but because of that damage, some of their clients or suppliers are affected, and it affects their ability to make their income. So it's not only those 63 counties, but all the bordering counties that we saw back in that map in yellow. All those counties in yellow are contiguous counties that are also eligible for the economic injury disaster loans. Okay, so a substantial economic injury means that the business is unable to meet its obligations and pay its ordinary and necessary operating expenses, such as lease payments, utilities, insurance, your payroll, keep your employees on the payroll, taxes, and fixed debt payments. And these loans are available even if you do have an existing loan from SBA, from a disaster loan or a COVID-19 loan, as long as you're up to date on your payments, not in default, and can demonstrate the ability to repay, it's not a problem to get a second loan. Okay, so the deadline for physical damage for businesses, homeowners, renters, nonprofits, etc., is January 7th for both Hurricane Helene and Tropical Storm Debbie. For the economic injury disaster loans for small businesses and private nonprofits, because a business owner often doesn't know how long it will take for them to recover, or there's a delay in realizing how much their business has been affected from the storm indirectly. So we have a 9-month window for that. So the deadline for economic injury loans for Hurricane Helene is June 30th, and for Tropical Storm Debbie, which hit a little sooner, it's a few days earlier than that, based on when that declaration was made. Okay, and just to reiterate that the economic injury disaster loans are available even if the business or nonprofit did not suffer any physical damage. You can just get a working capital loan by itself. And there's the website for applying online, the lending.sba.gov. And of course, I mentioned the recovery centers. We have disaster recovery centers that are staffed by both SBA and FEMA, as well as mobile disaster recovery centers. And you can visit any of those recovery centers to get assistance. It doesn't have to be in the same county where you live. Okay, so the process to apply, applicants can go online to lending.sba.gov, can get additional assistance and information, or even download an application at sba.gov/disaster. Or you can call our customer service center at 800-659-2955. Or send an email to disastercustomerservice@sba.gov for more information. And if you're going to write to that disaster customer service email address and to check on the status of your case, you want to put your name and your SBA loan number in that subject line. Okay, in order to apply, it's helpful to have a cell phone if you're going to apply in person, because they can use that to send you an email, and you click on the link and can get in the system to verify your identity. But just having all your contact information is sufficient. Driver's license and social security numbers, and also the employee identification numbers for all owners of a business, as well as your financial information, income, account balances, monthly expenses, so we can estimate your ability to repay, and a copy of your most recent federal income tax return. If you're going to be applying for an economic injury disaster loan, they might ask for another 1 or 2 years before that, so they can see what the trend is of how much money you've been making before the disaster, and compare that to how much you've made since the disaster, to try to estimate that difference and how much you might need to keep your business going. And of course, we want insurance information if that is available. Okay, so we're gonna hear from SBDC here in a minute, but just wanted to mention that SBA does have a lot of resource partners that can help business owners, prepare financial statements and give a lot of advice on staying in business and doing marketing plans and a business plan, ways to reduce costs, etc. But I'll let our SBDC colleague go into that. So thank you very much. And does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Brian. I don't see any questions at this time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have a presenter from the Small Business Development Center?
We do. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm Eric Trickey
Yes.
with the University of Georgia Small Business Development Center in the Augusta office. Everybody, Paul, Brian, everybody hear me okay?
Yep, can hear you fine.
Okay. Don't have any slides to present. What I want to do is acquaint everybody with everyone with the SBDC services. Our benefactor is the SBA. So chances are when you call the SBA for help, they ask you, where you're located. And then sometimes they will, in many cases, refer you to an SBDC office. We have 18 offices in the state of Georgia. And the one for this conversation is in Augusta, Georgia. We cover 13 counties, and when you look at the map, we cover just about most, if not all of those counties, 13 counties on the east central part of Georgia. We have the Statesboro office just south of us that covers more of the southern counties in the disaster area. And then even down in the Savannah, our Atlanta office has 5 offices, but we all perform the same function. We're no strangers to disaster loans, especially with the EIDL under COVID. We got our feet wet and got really well acquainted for disaster loans, and we did help clients with a good many of those. So for the Gust office, if you're in Washington County, Warren County, Lincoln County, Taliaferro County, Burke County, sometimes I can't, Jefferson County, Glasscock County, and Hancock County. We're the Augusta office. We serve those counties. Now, historically, when we looked at these disaster loans for COVID, and this program is pretty much the same, our role historically has been to help people understand how they can qualify these loans in terms of being showing the ability to pay them back. Okay, so we call it debt service coverage. So they want to make sure that, when they issue a loan, that you can service the debt, right? So we help increase or enhance that level of understanding with borrowers under these programs, that this is what's going to come out of your net operating profit. So we have to show that there's enough income coming in to support, the payments that you're going to be making. And so we do that in support of SBA in the Augusta office, and usually sometimes it's not necessarily the loan program. Sometimes there's other resources, albeit qualitative type resources that can provide assistance in other areas as well that are business related. So the only limitation we have is that we do not normally, it's more the exception than the norm, that we help nonprofits. So it's pretty much for-profit small businesses that need a better level of understanding of these programs and whether they qualify and whether it makes sense to do so. So I'm going to open up the floor for questions. Is there, Brian, if there's anything else I need to bring up about what we do, that pretty much I think covers it for us. Are there any questions out there or anything else I need to discuss here?
So, Eric, I don't see any questions coming through, but just want to remind those who may have came in late.
Hmm.
If you have any questions for the presenters, please put that in the chat and we will address those questions. And also, we are recording this session, so at the end of the session, we'll provide you with information on how to access the recording.
Yeah. One final note, our website is georgiasbdc.org, and all our offices are listed on there. If you go to the locations page, you'll find the Augusta office and the bios of the staff that work in that office, and our number and our contact information is there. And so feel free if you have any questions or related to some business disaster relief. Feel free to call us and we'll see what we can do to help.
And Eric, someone mentioned that your Risky to Resilient workshop is very
Yeah, yeah,
informative.
yeah. We have all kinds of workshops. These days it's all been about hiring good employees, supervisory skills for the modern manager. We promote that a lot, and we have had more of those classes in demand than anything we've had recently. It's one thing to hire an employee, but then how do you take care of them and keep them? It's a very strong class that we've even had some franchises come in and send their key people in, and so but yeah, all our classes are online at the georgiasbdc.org website, including the ones in Augusta. Some of them are webinars, some of them are free of charge, some of them is a small fee that's associated with them. So check out our programs on georgiasbdc.org.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Do we have anyone from the Technical College System of Georgia Business Service Unit ready to present?
Hey, Paul, it's Renee. I'm here to speak about business services.
Okay, thanks, Renee.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I am a regional coordinator with the Office of Workforce Development, TCSG. I just wanted to take a few minutes and tell you about some of the services that we provide. We provide a wide array of services to assist businesses in hiring, training, and retaining skilled, highly qualified employees. We also work with key partners in economic development and local chambers. We offer recruitment and staffing assistance. We also have on-site business centers so employers can conduct interviews. Also, we provide labor market information to businesses to include information such as wage information, economic profiles, labor supply and demand, and also commuting patterns, especially if it's a new company coming in or an expansion going on. We also assist with tax credits, which some of you may know as the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, known as WOTC, and that ranges between $2,400 to $9,600 that can be assisted with depending on the circumstance of the employee. And we also offer youth services and veteran services. And that's pretty much it. The best thing is that all of our services that we offer are free. And that's all.
Thank you, Renee. Appreciate it. And also, could you plug in the information, your information as well in the chat?
Sure. Be glad
Appreciate
to.
it. So next, do we have Terry Dennison with the SBA?
I am on, and
Hey,
I'll go ahead
Terry.
and put my camera on. Okay. Hope everyone can see me.
We can.
Okay, great. My name is Terry Dennison, and I'm the Georgia District Director for the U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA. And I kind of want to focus my remarks just kind of contrasting or explaining a little bit how we're organized and comparative to disaster assistance, or not, excuse me, disaster recovery and resilience. We're actually under the auspices of the Office of Field Operations with SBA. And basically they oversee all the field activities of what I would say the delivery and oversight of the quote unquote regular SBA programs or non-disaster assistance programs. We spend a lot of our time just really trying to make people aware of those resources. A lot of our focus is on outreach with small business owners or small business organizations and other small business stakeholder entities to get that message out. Of course, you can learn more about us at sba.gov, and I'll be sure to put that in the chat. And more specifically for Georgia, sba.gov/GA. So just quickly, in terms of access to capital and some of the programs that we have that aren't disaster related, some things specifically to point out in terms of differences. With the regular or standard SBA loan programs, nonprofits are not eligible. And of course, that's very different than the case with disaster recovery programs that you just heard about. There's also no direct loans for general business financing purposes and grants. I know we get that question a lot. So, not nonprofits not eligible, no direct loan, no grants. Primarily, how the standard SBA loan programs work is we work with commercial lenders, that could be for-profit lenders, it could be community development financial institutions that are nonprofit and community oriented. In some cases, it can be credit unions that provide uh, business loans. And basically, what we're doing there is guaranteeing the loan uh, that they're making. So they finance them, and then basically, if everything is done according to requirements as far as closing the loan, administering the loan, if the loan defaults, then we would reimburse that lender a percentage of the outstanding balance. Of course, that means it reduces their exposure, which would hopefully get you to a yes answer on a loan application versus no. And in some cases, allow for longer repayment terms so that you don't have to worry about a big balloon payment at the end. Um, and it may also allow for a lower down payment or equity injection in that particular project. Our two main loan programs, actually three, I'm gonna just touch on them very quickly. Our microloan program is geared towards smaller businesses, obviously, that don't have high capital needs, 50,000 or less. These are administered by approved for our program CDFIs and other mission-oriented lenders, nonprofits. Uh, we provide financing to them, and they in turn lend those funds to small businesses, and it could be startup or existing. And they also provide technical assistance. Our probably largest program is what we call the 7A, number seven, letter A, loan guarantee program. And that can be used for a variety of purposes. It can support loans for working capital, for commercial real estate, furnitures and fixtures. It can, in some cases, be used to purchase an existing business or to refinance existing business debt so that your cash flow improves and the business is put on a more solid financial footing. Our 504 loan program focuses on fixed assets like commercial real estate or loan like machinery and equipment. That particular loan is done in conjunction with a commercial loan, but the 504 loan is actually a fixed rate loan, which is very important these days, and the interest rate is tied to treasury rate, not prime, which we know historically treasury would be a lower rate. So it brings down the cost of that transaction. So 90% of the transaction is financed, and in most cases, the borrower only has to put in 10%. Without that intervention, it can easily be 20% or more equity injection that that business would have to submit into the deal or inject into the deal. In both cases, 504 program and 7A, the maximum is $5 million there. We also, a lot of people don't know if we have any construction companies on the call today, or if you know of any, we actually help construction companies secure surety bonding for contracts that require surety bonds. Definitely public sector contracts do, federal, state, and local government, and even some private entities want some type of surety bonding for that contract opportunity, either to submit a bid or if the bid is won, they have to provide a payment and performance bond to continue with that project. And we'll cover projects up to $9 million generally, and if it's a federal contract, as much as 14 million there. Counseling and education is kind of another area in which we work. We do some training ourselves at the district office, but the vast majority is done through our resource partners. You just heard from one, the Small Business Development Center. We partner here with the University of Georgia here in the state that provide free counseling and also training, usually at a minimal cost to cover the cost of the training on a variety of subjects. We also have a partnership with SCORE. which used to be Service Corps Retired Executives, but it's not anymore. It's simply SCORE. Unfortunately, we do not have a chapter in Augusta proper, but there is one, I believe, based in Aiken that serves, of course, North Augusta and, of course, Augusta, Georgia. And they provide, once again, free counseling and training as well, and training usually at cost. We have a couple other entities, women business centers, and also the Veteran Business Outreach Centers. There are not any physically located in the Augusta area, but they do offer programming through circuit rides and also virtually there. And of course, there's our online resources at SBA.gov. We have online training there to help you with starting or addressing growing your business or addressing a particular challenge your business may have. And then finally, kind of our third tranche is the federal procurement. We provide a lot of assistance to small businesses that would like to do business with the federal government. There are various certification programs that are tied to federal contracting, for example, our 8A Business Development Program, Hub Zone, Historically Underutilized Business Zone certification, women-owned small business, and then veteran certifications, both veteran-owned small business and then service-disabled veteran-owned small business. We inherited those last two from the Department of Veterans Affairs about almost 2 years ago. And so we do administer those programs to help small businesses facilitate being able to access contracting opportunities that are reserved for those particular categories. We also have a mentor protege program for small businesses that are new or relatively new to federal procurement, an opportunity for them to partner with larger or more experienced, even small businesses in the procurement arena. We have to develop a business plan or a development plan for that participation, and the mentor shares how they will assist that protege business in meeting those developmental goals. So that's a really rough outline of some of the other resources beyond disaster recovery that the U.S. Small Business Administration offers. Once again, you can get information at SBA.gov.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it. Don't see any questions currently in the chat. Would like to remind anyone coming in late that if you have any questions of the presenters, you can put your question in the chat and we will address it. So our next speaker will be from the Technical College System of Georgia for Employment Services. Ms. Simone Richards, are you available to present?
I am. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simone Richards, and I am an employment services supervisor. We basically, pardon me, with the WorkSource Georgia portal, for employers, what it basically does is that is a labor exchange, and it brings employers and job seekers together. So for employers, once you establish an account, employers can post job openings, they can screen candidates, customize application questions, track applications, they can do candidate searches. Post-job openings, also there's labor market information, recruitment assistance. There is a whole list of services that are available for employers through the WorkSource Georgia portal. Employers can also set up a virtual recruiter to receive job alerts and candidate alerts, set up workshops, view and add events on the online calendar. There's also a messaging system. The WorkSource Georgia portal is basically a means by which employers can reach. It's far reaching when it comes to job seekers that are available, the talent that's out there. And also, we do know, as you know, through the Georgia Department of Labor, I'm housed in the Georgia Department of Labor here on Green Street. Unemployment insurance claimants are required to register with the WorkSource Georgia portal. So they're also available in the pool of talent that are looking for work, being made available to employers. I'll go ahead and post my information in the chat. And if you have any questions or need assistance, you can definitely reach out to me.
Thank you, Simone. Appreciate the information. So our next speaker will be Lacey Resch from Unite Us.
Hello, thank you, Paul. Good afternoon, everyone. As he said, my name is Lacey, and I am thrilled to support all of the technical college locations. Thank you. Across the state of Georgia, under our Technical College System of Georgia contract that Unite Us has. One thing that I wanted to talk about today, we have created 2 assistance request forms. The one I want to share with you today that Paul will be sending out after this meeting is one that's tied to the Technical College System of Georgia. It is a way for students, faculty, or staff to request assistance through our portal. They fill out a short form and a care coordinator will call them, do a needs assessment, and get them connected to local resources in their area. We have one for both the Technical College System of Georgia. Again, that's for students, staff, faculty. And then we also have one that we offer through the Georgia Department of Veterans Services, and that is for veterans, their families, and caregivers. Both of these collect some basic demographic information. They ask what the individual's needs may be for that instance. They might be food or clothing or shelter. And then they will collect consent, and that allows that care coordinator to reach back out to that individual. So we're really excited about both of these. We've been rolling them out across the state ever since Hurricane Helene impacted so many counties, and I definitely wanted to offer them out to everyone today. So I've just emailed them over to Paul since I can't upload anything in the chat, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them. There's no cost to use either of these assistance request forms. There's no cost to the organization that shares the form, and there's, of course, no cost to the individual requesting services.
Thank you, Lacey. Currently don't see any questions in the chat, but if we do, we can address them before the end of the session.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So our next presenter will be Miss Amanda Weekly from WorkSource CSRA.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amanda Weekly, the Director of Workforce Development for WorkSource CSRA. We are Area 12, and we cover 13 counties, which include Richmond, Columbia, Burke, Jenkins, Jefferson, Washington, McDuffie, Glasscock, Lincoln, Hancock, Tolliver, Warren, and Wilkes counties. And I just want to discuss with you a few services offered through WorkSource Georgia and the WIOA program. WIOA is a federally funded program that aims to help job seekers find employment, education, and training, while also connecting employers with skilled workers. WorkSource Georgia administers a comprehensive employment and training program that utilizes various employment and training activities authorized under WIOA to systematically develop the employability of our eligible youth, adults, and dislocated workers. WorkSource Georgia also offers a variety of service for employers, including job seeker connections, recruitment assistance, retention assistance, workforce information, incumbent worker training, on-the-job training, apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeship programs, and work experience and internships. We also have one-stop career centers that are located throughout the state. And these centers are designed to provide direct assistance in referrals to any potential participant or employer. Each one-stop is managed by a different provider, but the services are the same throughout. So participants can use computers to search and apply for jobs, develop resumes, enhance their skills. And they also host classes and workshops for job skills, resume building, interview skills. And employers also utilize these centers to hold hiring events, training, and however else we can help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Appreciate it. Are there any other partners that would like to present information today?
Paul, this is Chad Scruggs. I was in place of Jay Ivey today with USDA, the Farm Service Agency.
Okay.
So I will take just a few minutes. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you. Yep.
So I would just like to take a few minutes for USDA, the Farm Service Agency, to mention a few recovery efforts of that we have available for our business landowners and nonprofits to assist them with recovery cleanup efforts. As most of you are aware that FSA is here to help assist, and we have an emergency conservation program that's available to basically help remove debris from business owners' land, working farms and forest timberlands. And so, if you have debris that needs to be removed, I encourage you to visit our local FSA office in your area. Also, we have a emergency reforestation program that a lot of our business owners that own timberland, et cetera. So, where we can assist that landowner in removing the debris from their land, or also help them to replant. We also have a lot of programs, emergency loan programs that are available as well. If you're not familiar with the local offices in your area, you can go to the USDA FSA.gov, or you can go to. I encourage most everyone, and I'll drop this in the link as well. The farmers.gov is kind of a disaster assistance discovery tool. And that will kind of guide that individual or business owner through the process of what may the hurricane or the events that may affected them, and actually guide them to the correct program, and also will direct them to the local office that Georgia has. We have around 80 something offices in the state, so we are definitely here. A lot of the area that we are in, the debris has been a lot of trees down in our area. So, but a lot of efforts. USDA has gone in and made a lot of efforts to waive and a lot of requirements for the landowners and producers to expedite in order to move through quickly and make it easier on these landowners to gain access to our programs. So I'm going to drop this link in the website on the chat question. So, and if anyone has any questions, but thank you for your time.
Jay, thank you. And just wanted to let all the presenters know, my colleague Jan Hall, she has been, as you've been mentioning the links, she has been linking this information in the chat. So we've got the Disaster Assistance Program Farm Service Agency and farmers.gov linked in the chat.
Hi, Paul. This is Ronique West from the Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce.
Hey, Monique.
Hello. I'll come on camera. So I'll talk a little bit about what our organization does. We are actually have hosted the last two events with the SBA, but we do partner, of course, with the SBA. So this is an example of one of the things that we do as a Chamber of Commerce. In our area, we are based in Augusta, Georgia, but we do cover the entire Central Savannah River area. We have been working with business owners and individuals through the hurricane recovery, also with SBA, FEMA, in all the cities throughout. Some of the things that we have done and are currently doing, we do run programs for small business owners. We are running our 7th program at this time, the Aiken Business Coalition program. We're in the 2nd cohort of that program that will restart in January of 2025, but we have also granted grants and loans to business owners as well as our normal chamber activities, such as our monthly calls on the first Friday of the month. Also, our networking events that we host once a quarter. We do have monthly events as well with some of our diverse committees that we have within our organization. In all, we run about 70 activities per year with our staff and our team here at the chamber, but I just wanted to mention that today. But if you want to connect with us, go to www.mygabc, that's mygabc.org. We would love to connect with you and then, of course, point you in the right direction if we're unable to assist you as well. And we do offer one-on-one technical assistance, so you can schedule an appointment with us, and some of our consultants, as well as our leaders, can help you with whatever your business needs may be. And Paul, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Monique. Do we have any other partners on the call that would like to present information today?
Hi, Paul. My name is Tezra Dozier. I'm the Community Programs Director for USDA Rural Development. I have myself on the line today, as well as my coworker, Program Director Samuel Kirkland, who was going to follow up behind me with some additional information. I'd like to share my screen. I have a couple programs that I would like to cover, just mainly for, I want to see if y'all can y'all see that screen?
Not yet.
Let me see what's going on. Share. There we go.
Can see
So
it
mainly
now.
I wanted, you can see it?
Yep.
Thank you. So the first program I wanted to talk about is just quickly cover. This is mainly geared toward water systems. Water systems that have been impacted by the in the presidentially declared disaster areas. This is our water assistance grants that we can come through and help with if they've been impacted, to assist if they've lost quality or quantity in their drinking water. These funds can also be combined with any other grant funds received, such as like FEMA. So this is a really good program for water systems that have suffered or been impacted at all by the hurricanes. And these are all information I will share and can send out the fact sheets on. My next program I want to talk about is what we call WEP. It's our water and wastewater. These are loan and grants where we can come in and help with water systems or sewer systems. And these are mainly targeted at public bodies and nonprofits as well. My next program, I'm just kind of running through this really quick, is our community facilities. This is mainly pointed for public bodies and nonprofits and the reason I want to bring this one up is we can do equipment. So if they need equipment in cleaning up debris, dump trucks, backhoes, things like that, this is a program for them. This can help them get the need equipment so they can start or get some cleanup done. So I'm going to stop sharing and let Sam share his program information that he wants to talk about. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to share really quickly. I know we have a lot. So I've got, real quickly, the Business Industry Guaranteed Loan Program. What does this program do? This program provides loans, guarantees to commercial lenders for loans to eligible rural businesses. It's for-profit or nonprofit cooperatives, federally recognized tribes, public bodies, individuals. Use of funds, business development, growth, modernization, conversion, repair, buy and develop land, building, associated infrastructure for commercial or industrial use, buy and install machinery, so M&E, supplies, inventory. Refinance, we can do some refinance. There's some stipulations on that. Acquire businesses or industries when the loan will maintain operations or create or save jobs. Have to be in an eligible rural area, and we'll talk about that when I talk about the website. Also, interest rates are at market rates, so set by the lenders and the banks that provide the programs. We have a website, and then I'll also talk about another program. But we have a website, rd.usda.gov. And that's where you pull these fact sheets off of. This is also where when you grab the fact sheet, you can there's links on the fact sheet to pull up the maps for the rural areas, so you know where in Georgia the rural areas are. Because that's, if you're working with rural development, you got to make sure you're in a rural area. The other program I want to mention really quickly is our single family. I know this is a business call, but real quick, single family housing 504 repair grant program is for, got to be rural area, unoccupied home. This is repairs for homes, 62 years of age or older. Must be within the very low income category for the county and household size. A maximum of $10,000 or $15,000 if disaster. So the $15,000 if it's disaster. Must remove major health and safety hazards. And to learn more about that, the phone number for single family housing, 706-552-2541. 706-552-2541. I know that's not business. I just want to mention it's a really strong program for grant program for helping for major health and safety hazards for the elderly. So I just want to mention those two, and check out our website. When you go to rd.usda.gov, you want to click on the programs tab at the top and go to either business programs, which are my programs, or single family housing or community programs. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you for the information, Samuel. All right, so do we have any other partners that would like to present today? If not, I would like to thank all our partners today that attended and presented information. Karen, do you have a question?
I don't have a question, Paul, but I just wanted to thank and just put it out there that thank you so much, Ronick West, for making this happen for on behalf of all the SBA folks, our USDA partners. We really need this opportunity to put all of the great resources that we have available and programs available together. And thank you, Ronick and Ms. Hammond from the Greater Augusta Chamber for helping us do so. We really appreciate your partnership. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely appreciate the partnership. Want to thank all the partners that came on today and presented information. Really great information for businesses and nonprofits that they could utilize. Also, I wanted to turn it over to Ms. Hammond because they are recording this session and she can tell you where you can access this recording. They are graciously posting it on their YouTube channel for people to be able to view it. So, Ms. Hammond, I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. And once again, thank you to everyone who was on the call. So you can follow our YouTube page, which would be the Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce, NYGABC. And it will be posted there no later than Friday. Tuesday's video will possibly be available tomorrow, but Paul and Brian, I have their contact information. So I will definitely share that with y'all when it's completely uploaded. If you guys want to share them out as well. So yes, I will make sure I put it in the chat because I don't upload it. But it will be on our YouTube page, and that way you can share it. It's not having it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Once again, thanks to all of our partners for presenting today. We appreciate your partnership, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.